He said the Post-Nup was just protection. Then I found the receipt that proved it was a trap. I was standing in the kitchen, holding a piece of paper that was worth $2 million, while my husband showered 10 feet away. My hands weren't shaking because I was happy. They were shaking because I finally understood why he had been trying to legally destroy me for the last 3 days. The water pipes groaned in the walls, a high-pitched whine that matched the ringing in my ears. I looked at the document on the counter, the Post-Nuptial Agreement he had printed out at the library, and then I looked at the crumpled thermal receipt in my hand. The steam from the bathroom started to creep under the door, carrying the scent of his body wash, the same cedarwood stuff I bought him for Christmas when we were scraping pennies together to afford a tree. I stared at the numbers. They were black, blocky, and undeniable. I looked at the date, February 4th, last Wednesday. I looked at the Post-Nup draft, dated February 6th. He knew. He knew before he ever brought up the idea of protecting our finances. He knew before he sat me down with that fake, concerned look in his eyes and told me he was worried about the economy. He wasn't worried about us. He was worried about sharing. I felt the bile rise in my throat, hot and acidic. 10 years. We had been married for 10 years. We ate ramen noodles in a studio apartment for 3 of them. I worked double shifts at the diner while he finished his degree. I drove a car with no air conditioning for 4 summers so we could pay off his credit card debt. We were a team. Or at least, I thought we were a team. Evidently, to Mark, I was just a liability he needed to liquidate before he cashed out. The shower turned off. The sudden silence was deafening. I scrambled. I shoved the lottery ticket back into his leather jacket pocket, exactly where I found it, behind a wad of old gum wrappers. I smoothed the leather. I ran to the sink and turned on the tap, splashing cold water on my face to hide the flush of pure, unadulterated rage that was burning my skin. Babe, Mark called out from the bathroom. Did you see my towel? It's on the hook, I yelled back. My voice sounded jagged, like I had swallowed glass, where it always is. I gripped the edge of the counter, my knuckles turning white. I had to play this cool. If he knew I knew, he would hide the ticket. He would run. He would find a way to disappear before I could file a single piece of paper. I had to be smarter than him. I had to be the wife he thought I was, the trusting, naive, supportive partner who would sign anything to make him happy. He walked out of the bathroom a minute later, a towel wrapped around his waist, steam billowing around him like he was stepping out of a sauna. He looked happy. That was the worst part. For the last year, he's been stressed, moody, snapping at me about the grocery bill. But today he looked like a man who had just won the lottery. Because he had. So, he said, rubbing his wet hair with a second towel. He leaned against the doorframe, trying to look casual, but his eyes were darting around the room, checking my face. Did you read the draft? The lawyer said if we get it signed by Friday, he can file it before the weekend, just to get it out of the way. I read it, I said, turning to face him. I crossed my arms to stop them from trembling. It seems intense, Mark. Complete separation of all future assets. Waiver of spousal support. Why the rush? He sighed, putting on that patronizing face he uses when he thinks I'm being emotional. I told you, Sarah, it's Dave at work. His divorce is destroying him. His ex-wife is taking the house, the pension, everything. I don't want us to ever be in that position where money ruins us. If we keep things separate, we choose each other for love, not for security. It's romantic, really. Romantic, I repeated. Yeah, it protects both of us. If one of us gets sued, or accumulates debt, the other is safe. It's a safety net. A safety net. He was building a wall to keep me out of the vault. I need a day, I said. I need to read it again. It's a lot of legalese. His jaw tightened. Just for a second. A flash of irritation masked by a smile. Sure, take a day. But really, babe, Friday is the deadline if we want the discount from the lawyer. Just trust me. I'm looking out for us. I know you are. I lied. What I am about to find in the transaction history of our joint checking account isn't just a receipt. It is the smoking gun that turns his little secret into community property. By the time I drop this and several other bombshells, I won't just be a scorned wife. I'll be the majority shareholder in his future misery. For full version, kindly follow instructions on screen.